What's up everybody, John Bowman here. Today I answer one of your questions. Here's the question. How much should the left foot turn in the back of the circle, and should it ever stop turning? It's about how it turns in relation to what that right side is doing. So in his throw, let's say I'm throwing this direction, his foot turns all the way to the sector, but then it stops, and then his right leg goes forward. Does that make sense? So the left foot turns nicely, gets to the throwing sector, stops. That allows that right leg to move around. We want that left foot action to be a little bit different. We want that left foot to, once it starts turning, to not stop turning until it comes off the ground. So we want that left foot to turns all the way here, and then our left and right legs to be in a relationship. So as that right leg comes forward and around, that left foot pops off right at the time that it stops turning. So left foot turns, that right foot's here. As that right foot comes in, left foot pops off. And I call that switching of the hips, and it's super important to getting speed through the circle. We're trying to create energy, we're trying to create power so we can move faster through the circle. And anytime that our foot stops, say let's wind up here, and this left foot stops, that causes a hitch. And anytime that we have a stop or a block, our energy goes down. Even if we still look pretty and nice through the circle, it causes us to slow down. So how do we get that left foot to come off the ground at the right time? And again, the secret there is having the left leg and the right leg working together. So I talk about having space between your knees, or a V. My coach used to say it's kind of like hugging a huge tree here in the back of the circle. But the important thing is that what you're doing is you're setting your hips up. See that? They're rolled underneath me. This is strong. You're setting your hips up so they're strong, they're intact, and though that this left side and right side is rigid and they work together. What we want to do is we want to avoid any time where our hips are closing. So like what's going on when the left foot stops? Again, if I'm throwing this way, the left foot turns, but see how this right leg is kind of dragging? And then this stops so that this can go forward. Let's do a different angle. It turns, notice hips kind of close together. Then the hips come across narrow. And again, what we want is them to be strong, separation between your knees, so that as we turn here in the back of the circle, see, watch this, as I turn, this left heel moves first, it moves forward, but as that goes, so does this. This right has to get off the ground, and it has to be moving towards you guys, like this. So that this doesn't get left behind. When it gets left behind, we have to kick it or force it, then that right leg gets way far ahead of us. So see this angle here, turn, but if we let this area close like this, we reach out. You see this angle here? This is the problem, because this is stuck on the ground. Then we reach for this spot in the middle. Our ideal position is as this comes around, left pops off. And notice we want to land here in the middle with our hip right on top of our foot, and our left foot somewhere over here. So rather than a reaching position, it's a good sprint to run. One thing that's really important is, in order to accomplish this strong hips, strong legs position in the back, you don't want to slow down your left foot. It's not about, okay, let's slow this down so that this right leg can be intact with it. It's really the opposite. Your left foot needs to turn first. It's the first thing that moves. It needs to turn fast and really hard. It's just that this needs to come along with it. So again, rather than dragging out of the back, this comes off, it was working really wide, knees apart, hips under you. And that's what pushes you forward into the ring. That's the sprint action. That's where your huge speed and power come from. My favorite drill to work on this part of the ring is simply 1 and 2 step drills. So nothing fancy with the names there, but it's simply practicing what it feels like to turn the foot with the hip under you and how to keep those hips strong. Because I'm serious, this is a super hard part of the throw. The concept itself is simple, it's not hard, but it's really hard to execute. So again, this first drill I like to do to master this is the 1 step drill. And it's simply 1 step, you'll see. So what you're doing is you're winding up like normal. Nothing is new there. And you're winding up, and then your left foot turns, that's what gets everything going, and you turn 90 degrees. So your right foot then comes to here. So if I'm throwing in this direction, that's the 1 step drill. And what are you doing here? Like what's the point of this? Because obviously that probably looks like nothing special. It's all about feeling positions. You want to be able to wind this up, do this drill with your hips under you and your knees apart and your legs working together. So it's a super simple thing. You're just practicing that position. You may want to do that, 5 times in a row and then take a throw, and then maybe another 5 times, then take a throw. The point is to get it in your muscles, get it in your muscle memory of what it feels like to turn on that left foot with your hips under you, with your knees apart. So again, 1 step drill. Okay, the next one I like to do is called a 2 step drill. Looks something like this. Let's do that again. So what it really is the second step of the throw. So you're doing a 1 step drill, and then you're gonna do that second step. And here's what's important. The position that we wanna do, again, we don't wanna reach with our right foot in the middle. We wanna be on top of that right foot in the middle. So we gotta practice that. Boom. Again, hip over top of the foot. The only way to really do that is you gotta get this left leg out of the way. That makes sense? That's the problem from the earlier part of the video. When that left foot stops, the hips close, the right leg comes forward. We need to let this knee turn and get out of the way so that the right can land here on top of it. Now again, I know this is just a position type drill, a feeling drill. Again, all I'm trying to do is find feeling. What does it feel like to have my hips strong and under me, have my knees apart as I sprint? That's the hard part. When we sprint, our tendency is gonna be to collapse here, reach with the right. You know that by now, we don't wanna do that. We need to be strong here and land on our right. That's all we're trying to practice. You just 1 step, then 2 steps. Over and over again, 3 or 4 times, then take a throw. 3 or 4 times, 5 times, then take a throw a couple times a week in your practice. And that's, again, those are the 2 drills I do to work on that left foot and right leg, hip, switching of the hips type movement. And you figure this part out of the throw. Promise, I say this all the time. You move faster through the circle and you will throw farther. And that's what we're going for. Guys, that's it for this video. Be sure to like it and subscribe if you're into discus videos, and I'll see you on the next one.